With a WWE star addressing his alleged beef with CM Punk and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. On Instagram, the daughter of Brock Lesnar, Maya, posted a video of herself setting a new personal record and a new school record for shot put at Colorado State. Here's the clip.
Hold! There it is! Hold it! There you go!
On his show, Pat McAfee said this regarding Maya Lesnar. Sources have told me that Maya Lesnar is now 224 pounds of all muscle, ready to throw a rock for the United States of America when her time comes and beat the hell out of everybody else. Celebrating the birth of his child, former WWE star T.J. Perkins posted this photo and revealed the boy's name, writing Noah Nicholas Perkins. Touching on the situation with WWE and AEW, particularly after the signing to WWE of Jade Cargill and the return of CM Punk, Kevin Nash said on his Click This podcast, WWE is back on Bedrock again. The shows are really solid, but you look at it for 5 years, and there were some points where AEW made some runs. By losing Jade and losing CM Punk, it's not gonna be good. Asked who is next for him in WWE after he returns from injury, Braun Strowman told WrestleBinge, "I'm never finished with Roman Reigns. He is my arch nemesis and my greatest rivalry of my career, and hopefully one of these days I'll get back in there and get these hands on the tribal chief." At a red carpet event to promote the Iron Claw film, AEW World Champion MJF would get a photo with WWE legend John Cena. Revealing an interesting statistic for Jey Uso since joining Monday Night Raw, Ringside News wrote, according to CageMatch.net, Jey Uso's not won a singles match since he joined the Red brand. Jey's first loss as a singles competitor was against Drew McIntyre on September 18th, and even his latest loss was at the hands of McIntyre. Jey Uso also previously said this to Daily Mail regarding CM Punk's return to WWE. People are going to talk about him, so hell yeah, he comes back. No matter what, we're going to please the fans and make money. Why wouldn't you bring him in? I like the guy, man. He was here 10 years ago and there was never any beef. If you're in this profession, you have to have hard skin and be able to take critique well. You can't get hot about any of this. So CM Punk is invited to my house. It's all love. Let's line it up. I'll do an angle with CM Punk. I'm ready. I'm glad he's back. Last time he was here, I had paint on my face. I'm a different Jey Uso these days. Explaining why CM Punk choosing to sign with Raw and have a confrontation with Seth Rollins was not the last segment of the show last night, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio that it's the main event and they wanted a long main event, and that's the thing they put on last. They didn't put Punk's decision on last, which is interesting because Punk's decision was the #1 thing. I think that the idea was they knew that even if they put Punk's decision on last, even though that would hold more viewers better than this match, less viewers would see it. So they put the Punk decision on at 9 o'clock when they think they would get the highest. It's usually the high point of the show, so then everybody got to see the Punk decision. As it was previously reported that the lawsuit against WWE brought forward by MLW will see the parties reach an agreement for a settlement. PW Insider said this regarding MLW's reaction internally to this. While no one will comment on record yet, there is a lot of happiness among talents in MLW upon hearing about the WWE settlement, hoping that it means the company can move forward with finding a new TV deal and that those working for the company can focus on the future as opposed to legalities. Court Bauer, perhaps knowing knowing the settlement was coming, mentioned to his locker room this past Thursday in NYC that some announcements were coming. In the same meeting, Court Bauer stated the promotion would be running more often in 2024 and would be returning to new and old markets. There's been talk of late of more events in Florida for 2024. The promotion had been running about once a month for most of 2023. Earlier in the month, Matt Hardy said this on his Extreme Life podcast regarding his frustrations with the booking he and his brother Jeff have received in AEW. I mean, I'll say just creatively, like just the way we've been utilized like the last 4 months, it's been very frustrating. We've been very patient, but there has been a lot of frustration with things we've done and kind of how we've been utilized in some ways. So I feel like the natural thing to play off of is like channel that frustration and kind of put it into what we're doing. And to those people, if they hate us, we will give them a reason to hate us, you know what I mean? And there's something we can do there to evolve our characters and once again reinvent into something we've never done. Because there's never been really like an aggressive take by any means necessary, like cheat if you have to, or break the rules if you have to, or be bad Hardy Boys version of the Hardys, you know? We've done stuff is Broken Matt and Brother Nero. There was a time where he was the Antichrist. And obviously I've been heel because I was like, you know, more the heel because he was all historically the more popular of the two of us, you know, but I think the two of us together as in a new role, I think it would be very refreshing. I think it's something that we could use to kind of like get back to where we want to be. I mean, I just feel like because we are considered one of the most iconic tag teams, one of the greatest tag teams of all time, you know, with all of our achievements and, you know, all the ground we've broken, all the trails we've blazed, I feel like we would be in some sort of circulation where we come in, we, you know, have some wins here and there, we get some momentum going, then we get into a big issue with a younger guy, and then like we make this younger guy look good, you know, but we haven't really got the opportunity to do that, and that's what I want. I mean, even, you know, there's a time today after our match was over, went back to the boss, said, hey, we want to talk to you, you know, going forward, and we're going to do that or whatever. But I feel like there's a way to get that where you can still keep us in the mix as someone, a team that is a threat and that is relevant and current, but then you can still help build younger teams as well. And I think that's where we need to be right now. Matt Hardy has now addressed those comments, saying that was the real, genuine Matt Hardy. That was the real, authentic Jeff Hardy, speaking from the heart, speaking very honestly, speaking very truthfully. Creatively, just the way we've been utilized, like the last 4 months, it's been very frustrating. We've been very patient, but there has been a lot of frustration with the things we've done and how we've been utilized in some ways. Hardy also said this last week regarding why he and Jeff were absent from AEW Dynamite. No Matt at Dynamite last week, and the reason being, it is in Canada, and my brother still has issues getting into Canada right now, and since Jeff wasn't going to be there, then I wasn't going to be needed to be there. Recalling how his debut for TNA at Final Resolution came to be, former NXT star Trent Seven told Cultaholic, we've been speaking for a few weeks now, kind of just piecing things together and making sure everything worked out. A lot of times in this industry, in the entertainment industry, it's about saying the right thing, being in the right place at the right time, doing the right stuff, looking the right way. There's a lot of things that have to link up for these things to happen, and that's what it was. It was just the right place, right time, right decision. 1,010 things lit up, evolving on the day, and just kind of continuously evolving, and luckily we got to deliver the fans with a real professional wrestling exciting secret. I just love it when wrestling happens like that. During a match against Shinsuke Nakamura, Cody Rhodes would be hit with the red mist, as this apparently caused him issues with seeing out of his left eye. He said this regarding it after Raw went off the air.
Well, you know how this works, I gotta ask you again. Did you guys have a good time tonight? I feel like I can't see out of my left eye and I got hit by a train. But how about these Creed boys, huh? I'm gonna go get checked out. We're gonna put them to the test. They're gonna take you guys home tonight. I love you all very much. Have a great night.
Giving a reason for Sami Zayn seemingly being written off television after being attacked by Drew McIntyre on Raw, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, "I was told that he had asked for time off. The partially torn meniscus may be legit because guys are always hurt anyway. Last week, I was told Sami is going to be off for a while. He asked for time off, not over an injury or anything like that. I don't know if he's got a partially torn meniscus or not. He very possibly does, but he actually asked time off regarding the injury situation." On the possibility of vacating the ROH Tag Team belts, as one half of the champions Adam Cole is out injured and the other half MJF is now nursing a shoulder injury, AEW President Tony Khan said this during the ROH Final Battle media call. That's definitely something to look at some point. It's something MJF said was important to him and Cole was to try and maintain the belts to when Cole gets back. Obviously, it's been a long road to recovery from a bad injury, but we're all excited about having Adam Cole back in AEW as soon as he can come back. They're a great tag team for any company and certainly have been a huge part of AEW this year and a big success for us. With Adam Cole and MJF being champions, I think certainly that is something to consider. During that same media call, Tony Khan noted this regarding ROH's standing with Warner Brothers Discovery. "We've had really good talks with Warner Brothers Discovery, had a great visit with them today, and we have a really exciting relationship that has grown a lot over the years and has expanded for AEW. Ring of Honor is still a third party in the relationship and is a company putting on really exciting wrestling and is peripheral to the conversation right now. It offers a whole lot of value to AEW and to a media company. There's a lot of interest in ROH and some of the most exciting wrestling and stories and some of the best events in ROH history are happening now. It's really awesome that ROH has healthy options and very complimentary for myself, my family, and our business interests. The ROH media rights and the massive library and IP are there and accessible to us as we pursue new media rights for AEW in 2024. We also have the additional value of the ROH library with the AEW library that has continued to grow. Almost 200 episodes of Dynamite, well over 100 episodes of Rampage, and an exciting half year of Collision." Staying on the topic of ROH, Eric Bischoff had this to say about the current product on his 83 Weeks podcast. "You have to build the brand. It has to stand on its own. It has to perform on its own without diluting the core product. Right now, ROH is a giant freaking parasite on the AEW brand, and the more focus they put on the parasite, the more the parasite is going to diminish or harm the core brand. I just think that they F it up so badly that we won't really see a successful ROH anytime in our lifetime." On that same podcast, Bischoff said this regarding CM Punk's WWE comeback. "Well, it's working, right? Great reaction. It started out great, a fantastically timed surprise at the end of a pay-per-view as opposed to the beginning or somewhere in the middle. I thought that was so well done. Story, anticipation, reality, surprise, and action. So far, WWE has checked and double-checked and triple-checked each one of those boxes. It's going to be great for CM Punk, provided he doesn't melt down and do some stupid If he keeps his act together and maintains a professional approach to this, he's going to be hotter than he ever was. Hats off to him. Hats off primarily to WWE because they're doing it right. I'm already convinced it's going to be Seth and Punk. From the get-go, Seth's reaction outside the ring when Punk first showed up, well done. By the way, it felt very believable and real, and perhaps some of it was. That's one of the great things about taking personal issues from outside the ring and being able to bring them in the ring, turn up the volume on them, and make them a part of the backstory. Make them a part of Act 1 to launch the story. It was really well done, but I think because it was so well done and the focus and everything was there, I'm convinced that it's going to be Punk and Seth." Revealing the success of a Raw event that is months away, WrestleTix wrote on X, "WWE Raw, March 25th, 2024, 6:30 p.m., Allstate Arena, Rosemont, Illinois. Available tickets, 816. Current setup, 10,149. Tickets distributed, 9,333. First count, this event is on track for a full sellout. While not all sections are open yet, the momentum is clear. Currently, the stage won't be removed, but plans can shift given its proximity to WrestleMania the months ahead. A setup change like the one at Survivor Series wouldn't be surprising. Chicago remains a red-hot market for them. Resale, $1,484. After receiving stem cell treatment for his neck compression problems, Kevin Nash gave a health update on his Click This podcast. I think it improved. I can see an improvement in everything. My shoulders are up. I just got my blood work back. Also on his podcast, Kevin Nash revealed why the planned match between himself and CM Punk never took place in WWE, saying, "It's funny now that Vince McMahon has taken a backseat to this whole thing that I see Paul Levesque, he owns it now. Like, he has ownership of that company as far as when they say he's creative, his demeanor, he is in complete control of that situation. There has never been anybody of his talent in the ring. He was with us and we were all ruthless and we were all very driven for our success. It's such a different Paul now. When I was supposed to wrestle Punk, he got under Triple H's skin so bad. Paul just came up to me and said, 'I'm going to beat him. You're not going to wrestle him. I'm beating him.' Cool. That's why me and Punk never wrestled. He made the call. I gotta beat this effer." Talking about the feud between Chad Gable and Intercontinental Champion Gunther, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio, "You know, Chad Gable did that big promo. Guy was going to win it for his daughter. They completely dropped that. They're not even in that direction anymore. I don't think it's him because there's no follow-up. They won't do it. But a guy who could actually, because of the tag team thing, because they keep tag teams separate, I like Julius Creed beating Gunther in a fluke situation, and then Gunther going up and challenging Rollins. What could happen next year is Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, because he's now over enough. To me, that's a WrestleMania match. I suppose he could just be champion till then and Lesnar wins the Intercontinental, but Lesnar doesn't work enough to do that, and I don't see Lesnar losing to Gunther, but I could see Gunther being cheated out of the belt and not lose face. Reviewing the progress that Dominik Mysterio has made in WWE, Chavo Guerrero said this on Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Dominik Mysterio is killing it. He's doing so good. He's far beyond where he should be, as far as being good as well. It's pretty cool to see them doing all of this stuff, and we talked about that before. You get a lot of people, especially because of Eddie, and how monumental and like cult following he has, and how many people see how really great he is and was. You get a lot of people really trying to capitalize off of the Guerrero name and Eddie's name. You'll see it all the time. I just saw it on our house show the other day. I was on and they started doing Eddie spots, and I'm like, why are you doing that when I'm next after you guys? Oh yeah, we didn't think about that. I'm like, guys, I get it, but you just did it, and everybody thought about Eddie, and they're like, yeah, you're right. But I see that a lot, and anybody can do it. Dominik can do it, and Ray can do it because of the history with them and stuff. During that same interview, Chavo said this about Dominik Mysterio and others making money off of Eddie Guerrero's name. Well, Dominik Mysterio is also collecting a big paycheck as well. I don't know if the paycheck wasn't there, would he be still doing it? That's what I wonder about. It's like, hold on a second, because the zeros behind the numbers are probably pretty big, especially right now the way WWE's paying. When Eddie's daughters aren't reaping benefits, yes, it bothers me. If anybody should be making money off of Eddie, it should be Eddie's daughters. I don't know if that's correct, if Eddie Guerrero's daughters get paid from merchandise sales, at least talking to them about it. That's something that I would definitely wish they were. It's their dad. That should have been in there, you know? His will and persona, his name and likeness should belong to them. Let them make the money off of their father. It looks as though many names that were cut roughly 3 months ago will be free of their 90-day WWE non-compete clauses, as Ringside News wrote on December 21st. The following names will be free to sign with any wrestling promotion of their choosing: Mustafa Ali, Aaliyah, Shelton Benjamin, Rick Boogs, Dana Brooke, Dabba-Kato, Elias, Quincy Elliott, Yulissa Leon, Mace, Mansoor, Riddick Moss, Matt Riddle, Shanky, Top Dollar, and Dolph Ziggler. For an update on the future of Mercedes Mone, who was most recently in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where she suffered a leg injury, Ringside News wrote that SE Scoops has reported that they have been informed by internal sources within WWE that there have been no contract talks between Mercedes Mone and WWE. Moreover, the creative team hasn't discussed any plans regarding a return to the company yet. A long-standing member of the WWE team even stated that Sasha Banks' name will only come up when there's a deal. Responding to claims that he and CM Punk have had tension with one another in the past, Booker T noted on his Hall of Fame podcast, "I've never had a beef with CM Punk. Not once. I've never had a beef with CM Punk. I never got to the point where I said something negative to the point to where I was like, I want to fight CM Punk or some stupid stuff like that. This is about business. When he said, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make business. But in this kind of business, you gotta have friends in order to do business, because you're working with a lot of guys that you have to trust in the middle of that ring. You got to care about the guys that you're working with. It's just that simple." I'm not saying that to CM Punk at all, because he knows that. There's a reason why things didn't work out in AEW, because a lot of those guys probably didn't care about each other. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.